Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Captain's Quarters, the unofficial Star Trek Rewatch podcast, where we are rewatching the entire Star Trek franchise, starting at the beginning of the official chronology. We are currently working our way through Star Trek Discovery Season 2. My name is Gabe, and with my co-captain Jason. Today is Stardate 78279.5. Set your phasers for fun. Set a course for Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 12, called Through the Valley of Shadows. Jason, how's it going, my friend?
Good. How are you? Long time. It's been
It
a
has been
while.
a long
It's been a
time.
while, but
Yes, it
it's
has.
good.
Yes.
It's good
I
now
was
to be
in
back.
I was in Japan. Jason was in Central America, and life has been busy, but we're back,
Yeah,
and we're happy to be
we're
back.
back. We're back.
Yeah.
What do you got to drink tonight? What are you drinking?
I am drinking two things. I'm drinking, of course, my Whole Foods
Yeah,
brand
yeah.
sparkling water, and then of
Not a
course
sponsor, but could be at some point.
yeah. And then after a 6-month break from the sauce, I am now drinking some Boda Box red wine.
Nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
yeah. So I fell off the wagon in Japan, um, and yeah, it was a good
Not a
break
bad
though.
place to. Not a bad place. Not a bad place.
No, it had to be done.
And
So
that was by design too, right?
yeah, I said I'm going to take a break. I didn't know it was going to be 6 months.
Like a Tom Holland break, right?
Once the break was about 2 or 3 months, I said, well, I've made it this long. I'm just going to wait until Japan at this point,
Nice, nice, nice,
so I'm glad I did. I would recommend it to everyone to take a
nice.
nice long break. It's good for the body and the mind. What about you? What are you drinking? Anything?
I've got nothing. I
Okay.
have water.
Okay.
Today's vintage.
Are you a water snob?
No, no. Oh my God, no. No, 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 no,
Okay.
no. No, no. I will sometimes splurge a little bit for like an aqua panna, but that's about it.
Okay. Is Seattle water good to go from the tap, or do you
Yeah, it's
filter
pretty
it,
good.
or
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good to go.
okay. Do you
Yeah.
guys filter it, or
Yeah,
Brita
we still
filter?
do. We still do because it's pretty minerally.
Or we just do Brita, or do
No,
RO,
no,
or
no, 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 no. We have a we have a 5 stage under our
okay.
under our faucet.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, great to see you, my buddy.
It's good to
It's
see you too.
yeah.
It's great to be
Okay.
back in the captain's quarters.
Let's do the very truncated
Yes.
synopsis via memoryalphafandom.com. So, a fourth signal leads the USS Discovery to an insular world where Pike is forced to make a life-changing choice. Burnham and Spock investigate a Section 31 ship gone rogue, leading to a discovery with catastrophic consequences. This episode starts with Burnham replaying mission logs from her mother. Very touching. Um, Her stepmother, or adoptive mother, Amanda Grayson,
Yeah.
comes in. They're talking. Spock comes in. Hi, Mom. I thought that was kind of funny. Um, and they are like, Burnham's still grappling with the idea that her mom wasn't dead all along.
Yeah.
Um, she's now on a mission to stop, um, control from wiping out all sentient life in the whole universe. And um, while they're talking about it, Pike tells them, "Hey, there's been another signal, another one of the red spots, and it's we're going to go pursue that." But Burnham's like, "I kind of want to go chase Section 31.
Yeah.
I want to stop Leland." because he's the bad guy. She wants to go alone. Spock's like, hey, you're not going alone. I'm going with you. After a little bit of wrestling there, she's like, fine. They all go.
Yeah,
Or
they both go.
Burnham, Burnham and Spock go.
Yeah.
I don't think that I knew that shuttles could go at light speed, at warp,
Warp
I
speed.
should
Yeah, they
say,
can. Yeah.
warp
Mhm,
speed.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think I knew
You,
that.
you think you did you thought they could only go to impulse power?
Yeah.
I so it's not
Did we
like
know
a
this?
warp. I'm sorry.
Did we know this? That shuttles
Yeah,
could do
I know.
this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew that, but it's not like a warp 8 or 9. It's not in the high ones. It's more usually like a 3 or 4 or 5 warp 3 or 4, not like a high warp. And
Okay.
don't
What?
ask me if there's like a warp core. I don't know.
Okay. Well, okay. Actually, in season one,
Of Enterprise?
no, in Discovery,
Oh yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
um, um, the the mirror universe captain guy who was masquerading,
Lorca,
yeah,
Gabriel Lorca,
Lorca.
yeah.
There was a scene where he was at warp, and I think him and Tyler were
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
a
yep, yep,
shuttle.
yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I
Where they
forgot
first
about that.
encounter excuse me,
Yeah,
yeah, where they first encounter the temporal wormhole thing
yeah,
that we get
yep,
introduced to that
yeah.
introduces us
Okay,
to
all right,
yeah.
I'm caught up. I totally forgot about that. So
Yeah.
anyway, they're warping, they're chasing Section 31 one way. Pike goes the other way towards the signal. So the signal is over the planet of Borath, which
Boris, yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
the Klingon monastery where Tyler, as Vok, had sent his son to go live with the monks.
Yep.
And that was a secret at the time. Um, so they're like, well, we're not going to be able to go there because it's the Klingons. You can't just like go to their planet. So
Yeah.
they page Laurel, and
Yeah.
they get her blessing and whatever to go. Um, she's, she's a Klingon, so she's hard to deal with. But Pike's like, hey, you know what? This threat is gonna destroy all sentient life. We are allies in this battle. She's reasonable enough. Plus Tyler's there. She's on board. Whatever. So they go there. Pike goes down and he meets with the monks, and they're Klingon monks, and their whole jam is that they're like protecting these time crystals, and that's their whole existence. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're they're sacred to the Klingons, and Pike quickly like realizes like if I can get one of these time crystals, we can send the data that they got from the sphere in the future out of the reach of control. This is the solution we need. But the monks are like, you know, these crystals don't leave this monastery. Um, it takes a little bit of convincing, but Pike basically convinces the monk that if he can pass the test, and there's a specific test, like when you take the crystal, it affects your mind. It kind of makes you crazy. Pike's like, I can do this, and the monk's like, no, you can't. You have no idea what you're in for here. Um,
So
Pike's like, the alternative is worse. Either I do
yeah,
this or all sentient life in the universe is destroyed. So
yeah,
I got to give it a shot. So
yeah. So when he said that, it was very much a Empire Strikes Back kind of vibe. I'm not afraid. You will be. You
yeah,
will.
very much so. So yeah, so Pike Pike does the thing. He starts hallucinating, starts seeing all
He
kinds of
sees the
crazy stuff.
future, actually.
Yeah.
It's not a
It,
hallucination. He sees his future.
I see, I thought it was always in future, always in motion. The future is
Yeah, no.
it's one possibility of the future.
i-
Or
yes.
do you think that was the future?
No. Okay. Oh man.
Don't worry about spoils. It's fine.
Okay. So not only did the monk, the Klingon monk say that if you take this, this will be your future.
Hmm.
And it's not a hallucination for us, for Star Trek fans from the original series. This is this is kind of building on the lore because we're only told in the original series
Hmm.
um that he gets into this, they give a little backstory of this accident and he ends up disfigured in a wheelchair.
Got it.
And so this is giving, you are actually seeing the backstory of Captain Pike's future, of
Got
how he
it.
ends up in a wheelchair, disfigured, saving
Burnt.
yeah, burnt, disfigured, radiated, in a
Anakin
radioactive thing.
Skywalker.
Yeah,
He pulls an Anakin
very much an
Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And he was saving students from a training exercise on a ship, and he sacrifices himself. That's absolutely lore. It's canon. Yes, it's just building a little more backstory,
Got
which
it.
is really cool because it does set up really nicely for the some of the things that he has to tackle with in Strange New Worlds and then beyond. So, but yeah.
Okay. So he sees that, still carries on, um, ends up kind of befriending the monk. And as we come to find out, that this monk is Voke and Laurel's son. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that he has accelerated aging because of the time crystals in the monastery and his environment. So he's like 20, 30-year-old Klingon.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
he's an adult, and he gives Pike a trinket that Pike then brings back to his Klingon friends to prove
To
that it's,
Laurel and Tyler, yeah.
yeah, prove that it's their son, and gives the crystal to Stamets, and what is that actress's name? The Tig Notaro.
Tignataro.
Uh yeah, they're studying it. They're trying to unlock its secrets. There's a minor thing that I'm not really going to talk about, arc with Stamets and Tig Notaro, um and Dr. Colbert kind of trying to reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about it if you want, but
Sure, 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 sure,
it,
sure.
it was minor. They're trying
Yeah.
to, Tig Notaro's kind of being the counselor between the two. The thing
She
is
plants
with,
the seed. She just plants
yeah,
the seed. Yeah, that's all.
well, with her, she, I guess, lost her wife, so she's
Yeah.
able to give some perspective of, like, like, you don't have a lot of time on this in this life, with your loved ones, so maybe patch it up.
Don't screw
But
it up.
yeah, so yeah, they're studying the crystal. So meanwhile, Burnham and Spock, they go to where this Section 31 vessel was late on check-in, and their logic is these things are never late. And so something happened. We're going to go there. They go there. When they come out of warp, they find a destroyed ship with bodies floating in space. And they're like, wow, the Section 31 ship was destroyed. They do a scan that, hey, one of those bodies is actually still has some life signs. They take it on board, and it is a person that Burnham knew from the Shenzhou, and they recognize each other. Hey, how's it going? Kind of bring him back to life. They're talking. He kind of fills them in on what happened. and they are trying to quarantine control. They call it like, we're going to like build a cage for controls. When Spock goes away to trigger the cage, we find out that this guy is actually control. He has the nanotechnology in his body, and it like
Mm-hmm.
reanimated his corpse. And so they get into a gun battle. She shoots him, the nanobots come out of him and start like going towards her. It turns out that they wanted to reanimate her so that they would like use her puppet to go back to Discovery to steal the data, the sphere data. Um, Spock figures out a way to like zap the nanotechnology, and he stops it, and they're able to get away. They get back to Discovery, they meet up and tell them what happened. They're trying to figure out their next move when all of a sudden, like every Section 31 ship comes out of warp and is ready to attack them. And they're not ready to go into the future yet. And so they decide the best thing to do is to destroy Discovery and thus destroy this data that we have. And then Pike says, "You're right, let's do it." So he calls Enterprise. They go into warp. They're going to rendezvous with Enterprise to take the crew, and they're going to destroy Discovery. And that's the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nicely done. That was great.
it was okay.
That was
I've had
great. That
better.
was great. That was a great run
I've,
through.
I've had better. But
I couldn't tell.
so one thing that I didn't realize, I thought Leland already had the sphere data.
He has like
Some of it.
40%. He has some of it.
Sure.
He has some of it.
Okay. Okay. I guess that's not enough for control. They want 100%.
The whole thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like the
Like
40%
Control
doesn't even
wants to
matter.
evolve. It like
Mhm.
wants to evolve into something else
And
beyond the nanotech, the nanobots.
at
It's
this point, dude, you cannot convince me it's not the Borg. There's nothing you can say that's going to convince me it's not the Borg.
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to
And
say. I
I
don't think so.
know we talked about this, how Star Trek will introduce a thing that's very reminiscent
Yes,
of other things, and they don't need to tie together. But my brain, I have to
the
tie them together,
Borg.
man.
This is like this is the beginning, the genesis of the Borg.
Yeah, to me,
Okay.
their final form is the Borg. To me, that's what it is. And
Hard to be. Yeah.
I think they win the battle. I think the human the Starfleet wins the battle, but I
Mm.
don't think they don't like completely get rid of control, and then I think the control becomes the Borg.
Interesting. 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 Okay. I'm hard to say. Really
Because
hard to say for
because
hard to.
the Borg
Yeah.
also use nanotechnology.
Yes, nanobot technology. Yes, absolutely. But the major part of it, the major difference here though, is that the nanotechnology is much more, it's less invasive. Oh. So, and we will continue. I think we have a battery dead, but so technical difficulties. I'm not sure if we are going to continue with this, but we can wait until. But anyways, how are you guys doing? I really want to know. Really appreciate the support, the listeners, all of y'all listening, taking the time, watching the videos, listening to the podcast, watching Star Trek Discovery with us, reacting. Um, and yeah, we do it for fun. But my guess is that his. Who knows? But yeah, I guess we'll continue to just sit here and have a fireside chat, crack open your favorite beverage, you know, do what you need to do. Sit back, relax, enjoy the episode of Star Trek Discovery. I was going to ask him, through the valley of the shadow, through the valley of shadows. Is that a biblical reference? I think it's a biblical reference. I don't know. Could be. Could be. Who knows? Oh, we may not be. All right. Well, anyways, thank you, everybody. Where is the more? I don't know. The listeners and I had like a really nice, like, alone time, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back though. But the issue now is my AirPods are going to die soon. So we might have to have a short one here.
Okay, yep, no problem.
So
Okay,
anyway,
quick reaction. Go ahead.
you were saying, you
Fire
were
away.
saying, you were
So
saying the
so this
Borg.
so these are less like this nanotechnology species or whatever is less invasive, and we don't see the implants and the
Right.
the tools and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. And it's not like, and it's a different kind of assimilation, so I'm not entirely certain. But what's your
That's a good
reaction?
point.
Gut reaction to this episode? Stars, grade.
Oh, yeah.
What's your reaction to this?
Um, it didn't stand out to me as one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
I did not have any specific issues with it. It didn't resonate emotionally as much as a lot of these Discovery episodes have.
Okay.
Um,
Fair.
I feel like I'm gonna give it like a C plus, like a
Okay.
78 and a half.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I don't, it's weird. I feel like I don't have much to say about it. Like I was a little not convinced at how even though they were Klingon monks in a monastery, I wasn't totally convinced that they wouldn't have killed Pike right away. Um,
Mm, mm, mm.
they had weapons,
Yes. Yes.
so he talked his way out of it, And I just don't I wasn't convinced that he wouldn't have been just immediately killed.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Particularly because they were in a war. Even if they had not been in a war,
Mm,
I think he would have been dead meat, stepping into
mm, 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 mm.
their holy place as a human. Was not convinced.
Okay. That's interesting because in like lore and in like other iterations of this franchise, they are separate and they are like less warrior. They're okay, so first of all, this is the first time the monks on Boreth hold the time crystals like as their main thing. In
Okay.
in other iterations of the franchise, they are monks. They are searching for Kahless. They are waiting for Kahless to return to this planet. Because in Star Trek: The Next Generation, Kahless was supposed to return to this planet
Got it.
after like however long it was supposed to be, and he was
Okay.
supposed to rise again. Very
The
Jesus.
son of none.
Yeah. So very Jesus like, and so this is the place where Klingons would go and worship and pray and meditate for Kahless's return. So this is the first time that we get that, oh, they're actually the keepers of the stone.
And that's why you had theorized that Lorel's son was that prophesized one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Um, and then the other thing that she mentions is that they're so disconnected that even the Chancellor has no real influence on these monks. They're on their own little separate thingy. So that actually didn't bother me too much, just because I was like, okay, that's got a history to it, right? But you have to be a
Okay.
fan to know that.
See,
So yeah, I could see
I didn't.
I could
Yeah.
totally see where you're coming from for sure.
Particularly because they had the double-sided sword things.
Yeah.
Is
The
like, well,
Batleth.
how peaceful are these guys
Yeah.
if they're the front gate has two guys with batleths?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Totally. But this is like, you just came back from Japan, so this is, very much like a Buddhist monk being protected by, a couple Buddhists, just, a little bit more armed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That sways me a little bit for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't I I think the Colbert and Stamets thing is dragged on a little bit
Oh yeah.
also. And I'm like, okay, I just like kind of don't care
I
anymore.
think they'll be back together by the end of the season.
I think
I think
so
we've
too.
got 2 episodes left, I think.
Yeah.
And then we have actually decisions to make on where we go.
Yeah, and I think we'll be moving on to Strange New Worlds,
Yeah, okay.
right?
I think it'll probably be The Cage first
Okay,
and
right.
then Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are you, and when you say the cage, are you talking about something that happens in the 1960s
Yeah,
or
I'm talking about
okay.
I'm talking about the pilot episode. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for that. Oh, it's so good.
Hey man, anytime we start a new show or do something new, like
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Oh
for
man.
this podcast, it doesn't get any better than that,
Yeah, no, I know. Right?
man. Yeah. Um, okay. Well, what about you? What rating would you give it?
You didn't give a grade yet. You haven't given a grade yet.
Oh, yes, 70, I'll give it 79%.
79%. A nice C plus. Is that a C
Yeah.
plus? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked this episode. It was quick and fast paced and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like kind of one of those middling setup episodes that we're gonna get
Yeah.
more. But I
Right.
think for me, they did a really cool job with Tenavik, the son of None,
Sure.
and how time kind of it's the future and the present, all that stuff, because of the crystals. But the
You
what
you know what
really,
is I just realized he albino?
Yeah. And remember, they did so they did a couple of flashbacks in this episode, like to previous episodes, right? Where you see Quorum Gant,
Hmm.
the nanobot guy
Yeah.
from the Shenzhou,
Yeah.
and then they flash back to the episode where he's the son, the little baby, and he's get kidnapped, and they flash back to that. Excuse me. And then they even flash back to, like, even in the beginning, that was a flashback scene too, wasn't it? Maybe
Which
not.
part?
No,
Which
maybe not.
scene?
No, maybe not. Of Burnham's mom, like, on the
Mm,
screen. But maybe not. But anyways, so Tenevik and the monk Borith scene, and then that backstory of Pike getting deformed is what kind of
yeah,
puts me, uh which gives, a little bit of nostalgia, because I'm like,
sure.
oh, that's how he ends up in the chair and all that, in the wheelchair and stuff, and that's how he
Okay.
ends up like that, and you get to see it. And as a Strange New Worlds fan, you kind of, he grapples with that again in
Okay.
the show. Um, oh man, I'm excited that we're going there, to Strange New Worlds. So for me, I know it quick episode, middle episode, but still had a little bit of canon, still had a, like, world building. Um, and so I'm gonna give this. Oh man, I'm gonna give this 2.5 star. I'm gonna give this 2.5 pips. It's a Lieutenant Commander's episode, a good one, not a great one, but not pretty solid just because of the world building, like you like to,
Okay.
see sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that. Like if I knew more about Pike's backstory,
Yeah,
and
and
if
you
I had
will, and you will. Yeah,
if I had known that Boreth had history in the show,
yeah.
maybe I would have connected more with those things.
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
But other than that, if those two pieces were kind of removed, I would totally agree with you. 79, you know, lieutenant kind of grade deal for sure.
Got it. Yeah, and so I mean, because we know they go into the future, I assume they don't actually destroy Discovery, that they do figure out the
I
crystal. Because
guess. Yeah.
at one point in this episode, they said it took the power of the supernova to actually activate the crystal. So
Yeah.
I assume they're going to figure that out, and then they will take it to the future,
Yeah.
and that will very neatly explain away the high tech nature of the Discovery
Yeah.
and move it out of the timeline so that we don't have to worry about that.
And I get, like, people have deeper, darker secrets, but come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anything else on this one?
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
There was a question of like when they tried to mousetrap Burnham's mom, I think they thought they broke something, and they were like, "Well, how are there still signals?"
Oh, yeah. Because so originally they thought those signals were coming from the Raid Angel.
Yeah,
So, and that was not clearly the case.
but
That
now,
it's,
so now that's still a mystery. We're
yeah, it's
like,
still a mystery. Yeah, it's
yeah,
still a mystery.
hmm,
It's still a mystery.
I like
Which
that
gives me the idea that, which plants the idea in my mind that it's Michael.
for sure.
It's Michael.
Yeah, yeah. We don't know how it's her,
Yeah, we don't know
but
how, but we think, yeah, I think it's her.
Okay.
And it kind of makes sense too, because then like you have to go back and weave Discovery, every iteration of Discovery to get to that point.
Hmm.
Because right, like it takes you back to the other episodes and like all of those breadcrumbs and all of those,
Right. Right.
yeah, breadcrumbs leads you on this trail this whole time to make sure Discovery in every timeline gets to this point.
Hmm.
In a multiverse, if we're playing the multiverse kind of deal, which makes it feel like it is.
Yeah, because when Michael's mother was saying she has seen her die multiple times,
Yeah.
but see, like I'm still grappling with that because, like in my head, that was like the tape played and was rewound and played and rewound and played and rewound, but you're
Yeah.
still on the same continuity, same timeline. But I think this is saying there's like branches.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense though, because like when you rewind it, if you change something, anything you change is going to create a
Yeah.
new branch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm caught
I
up now.
and
Yeah.
here's and right, and that's the sticky part of the unknown of traveling
Yeah. Yeah.
backwards and forwards in time, is like,
Hmm.
who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Because so Michael's mother is is the like the inflection point. She'll change something that creates a new branch. She changed
Yeah.
something that creates a new branch. She changes something. Every time she tries to intervene with the past, it creates a new branch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where a
It's
lot of like sci-fi time travel, like the current paradigm, right, is like a multiverse, multi-time,
right. And
you
but
know.
what you're saying is one of those branches leads to a scenario where Michael then is then creating the
Yes,
signals. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. To get
Okay.
all versions of Discovery to
Right.
this point.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe we're saying it I'm saying it myself.
Okay. Well, I mean, so do you know how many episodes are left? I have no clue.
I think there's only two.
Okay, and is it a two-parter? Is it
Yeah,
like
I think
a
it's a two-parter.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
we're coming up on it.
So I think it's gonna be centered around the battle of
Okay,
Section 31 and Discovery and Enterprise and whomever else Starfleet is able to send.
cool. And then do you know how we're gonna watch The Cage? Is it on Paramount?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's pretty nerdy of them to have that episode on there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's really cool. Well, I mean, because it became, it's still a very controversial episode because it is kind of like, oh my God, this is gonna be Star Trek. It's quite it's quite what's the word? You have to think about it. It's quite
Sure.
it's not the action packed, kind of Star Trek that we kind of get to know a little bit with William Shatner.
So like if a young Jason bought the original Star Trek on VHS
Yes, he did.
back in the early 90s or
Yes.
whatever,
Yes.
would that VHS set have included the cage in it? because in my head it's this standalone weird thing that was on the shelf and they were like, this doesn't
Yes.
exist.
In certain versions, yes. The cage would have been included. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. 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 It would have.
Okay.
Because by that time in syndication, uh it was, yeah, it was part of the, it became part of the lore.
Okay.
Because then in the Pike Anakin Skywalker version,
Sure.
it's funny because it's probably, I don't know how many other TV shows did this at the time, but it was kind of like the first episode that used previous footage and previous, like,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
you know how like in Friends they would, and in like a lot of TV shows
Yeah.
have those
Mashup
mashup
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did that in 2 episodes of the original series.
The lowest rated episode of Friends is a mashup episode. Little
Oh
trivia for you there. Yeah.
no! Oh no!
Hmm.
Oh no! Those are sometimes the most fun.
When I was younger, I would skip through them, but now I appreciate them for sure. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Okay, but yeah, it was a mashup episode. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I like that. And so it's not going to break canon. It's not going to create some
No,
huge um it's not going to create some huge
no,
retcon or something. Okay.
no, 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 no.
Sweet, man. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to this. I
yeah,
can't wait. We can't miss
yeah.
any more weeks so we can get there. If we
Yeah,
play our
yeah, yeah,
card
yeah, 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 yeah.
if we play our cards right, 3 weeks from now we could be talking about the cage.
The cage. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then yeah, so and then right around the corner is a new Star Wars show, The Skeleton Crew.
The Skeleton Crew. I am very excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
care
I
what people say. Jude Law, yeah.
yeah.
Jude Law, and who else is in?
I know almost nothing about it.
Okay, okay.
I know I watched the trailer. I don't remember anything about it other than thinking like, oh, it's Star Wars mixed with Stranger Things. Um,
Oh, okay.
other other than that sentiment, I don't remember anything about the trailer. I don't know anything about the show other than Jude Law's in it.
Yeah, yeah,
I couldn't even tell you what era it
yeah,
resides in. You know, is it pre-Empire, post-Empire?
yeah.
I have no clue.
Okay.
And I
I
kind of
cause
like that.
yeah.
I kind of like
It
going
had,
in blind.
yeah. It was mixed to me. I'm like, oh, this feels pre, but then there were elements of like post. I was like, oh, okay. I'm interested.
So yeah, you know we'll be talking about that for sure.
Yes, and then Diego Luna says that Andor season 2 is
In the can?
coming shortly, soon.
I think I had heard in 2025, yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
but I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's sooner. I mean,
I mean,
God,
2025 is not that long away
yeah, yeah.
from.
But I
Yeah,
mean, dude, and there's nothing better than Andor. There's
yeah,
nothing on
I
earth
agree.
better than
I agree.
Andor.
I agree.
So,
I mean, what's his name? Uh, the director.
Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, Tony Gilroy. He totally gets.
Well, he's like the showrunner creator. I don't know
He
if he's the
totally
director.
gets. Oh, okay. He totally gets character arc, and
Well, he's also a student of dictators and
that's
rebellions
why,
and
yes,
Marxism and
thank you for bringing
yeah,
that up, because that's why it feels so real
yeah,
and like applicative to,
yeah.
yeah.
Like if you haven't listened to his interview on the Mark Maron podcast, I'd highly recommend it because
Okay, okay.
his like it's almost like he's not even a Star Wars fan. He's just a fan of rebellions and
Yeah,
He's just a
that
student
totally
of it.
comes through. That
Yeah.
totally comes through in Andor season 1.
Yeah. It's just there's a certain
Brilliant. It's
language
brilliant.
to it that, yeah, it's just so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so brilliant the way he does that. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone back and watched Andor, and it's just like, yeah, it just gets better when you rewatch it. So
Totally.
the suspense in that show is just unlike anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like people are like, oh, it's boring, nothing happens. Like, yeah, but really though, nothing happens in a Star Wars sense, but like the like pressure cooker that's just constantly there
Yep.
around every decision and every action is just
Yep.
like, I love that. That's like my perfect TV show.
Yeah.
So
Nothing yeah. Nothing needs to be more said than that. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Well, cool, man.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm glad we're able to do this again. It's great to be back
Yes.
in the captain's chair.
Great to be back.
And yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Follow us on all the stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overwatch, all the things.
Ding 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 ding.
All the things that people follow people on.
Click the bell. Ding ding ding.
Yeah. Follow us on X to get notified when new things. Eventually, we'll probably switch over to Blue Sky, which is a X
What?
competitor.
What? There's another platform? Oh my.
Well, I mean, Musk has kind of
Yeah,
turned it into
I know. But it is interesting that there's another one.
well, it's been there for years, but fine people have finally had it with Musk,
Oh.
and
Oh.
there's been a mass
And
exodus
his
to Blue
stupid
Sky.
odd dance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, didn't Walt say like skipping around like an idiot or
Yeah.
something? Oh man, that was funny.
Yeah, that was
So
hilarious.
so yeah, anyway, we appreciate everyone who listens and watches. So and then till next time, live long and prosper.
And the force will be with you always.
See ya.